I'm gonna go ahead and tell them.
Yeah. We're sharing this video, so I guess we just get it all out there, aren't we? Come back and try to take her phone and delete it. You don't know why, because you know I'm gonna get backlash for this. I'm just saying. I know I am. Your teeth. Your teeth are a big thing. Sometimes they put trackers in your teeth. They put a you know how you brand cows, basically, to tell people that they're yours? Instead of putting a tattoo or a brand on your product, as they call you, they'll put something in your teeth. Or they'll put something under your skin. Or they'll tattoo you. Or they'll do something along those lines. Your hands, also your teeth tell your age. There's a lot of things with the teeth. Your hands, hands are big fetishes along with feet. So for lesbians, they check your fingers. For males, they just want you to have pretty hands, big hands, soft hands. There's millions of things they check your hands for. There's millions of things they check your mouth for too. How many times have you been sold? How big is your mouth? How many teeth do you have? There's a huge thing with sensory issues in dudes. I'm just saying. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah.
And places that are front. Let's finish up with that.
Places that are fronts, yes.
The psychic shops are fronts.
Massage parlors, honestly, food places, clubs, U-Haul storages, YMCAs,
children's foundations,
many children foundations, missing kids. Chinese food is a big one. Chinese food is a very, very, very big one. What else? There's a lot. Truckers, big rigs, a lot of truck stations, junkyards. Junkyards are a huge thing because nobody is looking for anything in there. It just looks like a bunch of junk. So nobody's going to go asking questions, searching, or trying to go look through it because it looks like a bunch of dangerous junk. You know what I'm saying? So junkyards are a big thing because what they'll usually do is they put junk in front of the kennels. So, go to a container park. When you go outside today, drive past your nearest junkyard, you'll sometimes see, because no lie, what will happen is this place will get set up, and then when the place gets busted, if there's a hint or tip off that something's wrong, that place will just pick up and move. They'll move their kids, their girls, their boys, they'll move. And they leave their place because they come back to the places they left in rotations, if that makes sense. So if they were in a junkyard and now they have to go to a U-Haul storage, and then they're going to end up at a Chinese food place, and then they're going to go to a club, they're going to end up back in that junkyard eventually, and they'll leave the stuff there. So more than likely, the junk will sit spread around it, and then there will usually be a center spot. And how you'll notice is if you look on the ground, to take you outside, or if they're being nice to you, they'll tell you to do your chores. Kids will go out and play in the dirt, if that makes sense. You'll just go out and you'll kind of scoop dirt towards the kennel, if that makes sense too. You're covering the holes that's at the bottom, okay? The holes that are at the bottom when you're sleeping, or sometimes if you have to pee in there, it helps you. It's a big victim secret, but it helps you with making sure that you don't wet the sheets that's in there, or covering it if you know the bugs that are coming in through the bottom, because there's holes at the top and there's holes through the door on the side. So you can breathe through there, but on the bottom where you're laying at, you'll wake up to things like all over you, or your pee all over you, or something like that. So if you look down at the ground and you kind of find there's a cleanliness that's right around the container, there's somebody in there, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain that any other way. But yeah, we're gonna go now because I've talked about a lot, and you guys are gonna give me anxiety now this whole day because not you guys, me, because I just said a lot, and now like when I get off here, y'all know me. I'm like, oh shit, delete it. But you know, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Let me answer some questions, and then we gotta go. We have a lot of things to do. Candace, how long were you trafficked? Oy, that's a good question for a video that's getting shared.
By my understanding of the
By
information,
CPS reports, since I was a
birth.
newborn. Yeah. By CPS reports. I don't remember since I was a newborn. I remember bits and pieces since I was little. But I was told that my toe, my pinky toe is broken. Everybody makes fun of my little ugly toe on my foot. But my pinky toe was broken, and I was told that was because of the things that happened when I was a newborn and from the CPS reports. So, yeah, to answer that question. Besides sharing online and bringing awareness to people, is there anything else you recommend us to do to help these kids who are being trafficked? Yes, I do. This is hard to say, but when you go into your next rest stop, when you go into your next McDonald's, the next time you're out, please pay close attention. Please pay close attention. There are tales of a trafficked girl. There are tales of a trafficked boy. There are tales of someone who's waiting on a pickup, a hookup, or a drop off. If you are at a rest stop, please don't just leave if you see something weird. Okay? It is very hard to deal with these pimps because they do get crazy. There are some where I've told my mom, like, you know, some I'll go after. There are some people in my life that I don't mind, you know, catching a case with, but there are some that are too dangerous, and you don't understand how crazy they actually are and how big it can actually get and who they know and who else is in their circle. Okay? So I want y'all to be safe as well. If this ever happens to you, but I've been told that I've had a friend who's ran into a traffic victim in the bathroom at a rest stop, and she didn't know what to do, so she left her. And what I would ask you to do is go outside. First of all, talk to them, and don't talk to them in a way of, are you okay? Can I help you? Oh my God. Stay calm as much as you can. Even though the situation is scary, crazy, and whatnot, stay calm. Okay? Ask them questions that, if you feel something's not right, ask them questions like, be random with them. Oh, I just got my nails done. Like, do you get your nails done? You know what I mean?
What are they looking for?
You're looking for bruises on their fingers. You're looking for wedding rings. You're looking for, there's usually 3 dots right here by your knuckle. There's usually something right here by your wrist. You can compliment their hair. If it looks a hot mess, compliment their hair. If you compliment a victim's hair, they'll move their hair, because that's what you're told to do when your handler asks you about your hair. Basically, if you come into a room and if you come into a job, they'll ask you questions, and it's basically your tells to move. So a big thing is for them to do this, or move their hair to the side, or move their hair back. If they have a tattoo on their neck, or a tattoo that's going this way, it means they're in big trouble. Okay? If it's going down, that means something different. There's tells all over the place. Go outside, call for police, let them know that the traffic victim is going there. You suspect that there is a traffic victim, and they will be leaving the area in less than 7 minutes. Okay? They need to get there in less than 7 minutes. What you need to do now at this point is look around. More than likely, if they are by themselves, they have about a rain time of 10 to 15 minutes of their hookup to come, or their daddy to come back and pick them up, and kind of suspect the problem. If they're waiting, sometimes the hookup is late. Sometimes they have to reconfirm another price. Sometimes they just ask for another price. So if you look around, they will be by themselves, but they're not truly by themselves. Watch out for the person that's on the phone. There will be usually a pimp that is standing on the phone, and he's not really on the phone. He's just making sure that she gets to where she needs to be. Usually they're looking down and they're watching them, and they'll give them heads up and they'll give them things like, by giving them a chin up, they'll move their shoulder, or they'll turn around and they'll wait for a minute before they turn back around. There's very, very many tells. So basically, watch for those. And McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, fast food places that involve kids are more than likely a trading spot. So if you're in a trading spot, pay attention to the conversation. It doesn't take a lot to tune everything else out and tune into another conversation. I don't know if it's just a part of my ADHD or a whole mentality, but I can hear everything that is going on around me. All right. So like, and my mom always asks me, like, we'll be somewhere, and I'm like, did you hear that conversation? And that conversation over there, I can hear everything that's going on around me. So just take a minute, calm yourself down. I understand that it's scary, but calm yourself down, listen to what's going on, and listen into the conversation. If someone is asking a kid what exactly do they like, which way they like to lay, weird questions, intervene.
It's better to intervene and be wrong than to not intervene and be right.
And another thing is if you look into the fast food restaurants that has kids, they make them hug them a certain way. It's not like a visitation issue with CPS. They'll make them hug them a certain way so they can feel their body and see what's going on as far as size and whatnot. That you'll be able to listen. Just look around yourself, because honestly, there are so many things that go on under your nose that you would be very, very surprised with. And if you would just take the second to calm yourself down and look around into your surroundings, you'd notice that there are way more things going on. And watch your kids. Please, for Jesus' sake, watch your kids. Do not let them walk behind you. Don't even let them walk on the side of you. Honestly, make them walk in front of you. I don't care how old they are. Make them walk in front of you. That is a big, big thing. They will take pictures of your kid, and they will take pictures of the area that you're in. If you are a local or something and someone is looking for shipment, especially that's coming up in October, they look for big shipments in October, for Halloween purposes, you are being watched. At all time, there is someone being watched, and don't think that it's not you.
They fill orders the same way you do products. They fill, if Joe Blow in Florida decides he wants a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl, they're filling those orders. He's going to pay for it, so they're looking for a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl. So if that happens to be your kid and the first person sees them, they're going to be watching.
TikTok, social media, Instagrams, check your kids' things. Sometimes your kids think they're talking to somebody. They can be mad at you all you want, but at least you checked. You know what I'm saying? They can think that they're talking to someone else, and they're not. They're not. They're getting prepped. They think that somebody's asking them, like, hey, I saw your friend the other day, blah, blah, blah. I saw their Instagram. Can you show me their profile, blah, blah, blah. Those are pimps. So just be very, very careful. Be very cautious. Be a little bit more cautious than you usually are, because trust me, you'll save a life. And if you don't save a life, if that life is already gone, you'll put a soul to rest. And that could be the best thing you do, even if you don't get to save a life. Okay? So stay a little bit more cautious. What's up, Christina? Christina Alves. Well, I've learned a lot in my field of work, and still you're sharing things that blow my mind. What broke? I love you, Christina. Michael, is it in rich areas of town or anywhere? Oh, yes, it is. Oh, rich areas are the worst. Rich areas are the worst because they treat it as a modeling career. They treat you as a singing career. That was how things get introduced to me sometimes. Inquiries, yeah. And when I still act, you guys know that I still work for media stuff, is because I choose to. But when I do, there are ways. Like, I think my mom, when the Wayfair thing first came up, she showed me something, and I'm like, hey, something's not right about that ad. I didn't even know what it was. I showed
her the first thing. If you've been in that, there's a way to read between the lines, pretty much, of what you're seeing, and she picked right up on that. When she goes out to do auditions for things, she'll spend hours reading through the things, and she can pick up on whether it's a legit thing or whether they're requesting other things.
Yeah, so it is in rich areas. To answer your question, Michael, I hope that answers. It's in rich areas. It's in suburbs, not so rich. It is in the poor areas more than you think. Like, way more than you think. Like, we're sitting at a park right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a trafficking victim that will be getting traded out of this park in a few hours today. When I say that it is everywhere, every day, every few hours, it's all around you. So just be a little bit more cautious. And honestly, I wish I could answer questions to be a little bit more clear. There is so much, guys. So much. And it only takes 10 seconds for a year's worth of things to happen and to traumatize the hell out of you. So just please make sure that if you have any kids, nieces, nephews, educate them. Make sure that you let them know what's going on, because people introduce trafficking to you as sugar daddy, and it's now called sugar babies, you know, and people introduce you to that as like, I can help you with your college fund. I mean, all you got to do is send me some pictures, send me some nudes, you know, send me some cute pictures, or post this for me, and it turns into something more, and they have no idea what they're trapped into. So please just educate yourself. And like I said, you know, I'm scared. Yes, it's crazy, and I get backlash, but it does nothing to the souls that I know that can't rest yet. And that's where Halloween, that's where, you know, Day of the Dead, that's where, what else is it called?
Yeah, the
Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. That's where all that stuff comes from, where people say there are souls that can't sleep yet, because there are a lot of things that people have done and nobody knows. Nobody will ever know, because they think it's already over. It's been years. They've been on the milk carton for too long. There's no possible way they could still be alive. But you'd be surprised at what's about to come out. And you'd be surprised at who's alive right now and who is wishing that somebody just says one thing. Just talking to a traffic victim, if you suspect something, just talking to them will help them in some kind of way. Even if you can't literally, physically help them and take them out of that situation, they're going to remember you, and that is the best thing that you can ever do for them. When somebody just talked to me, it made me feel so much better. When I would get to shelters, when I first met my mom, I literally walked into the room and I just cried for hours. I didn't say a word to her. It just made me feel better that I knew I was in a room with somebody who actually had common sense. So do those souls a favor, do those lives a favor, and just do that favor for them, okay? And I know, and like I said, I know it's hard, but it's hard. Think about what they're going through, and think about how scared you are if you had to approach the situation. Think about how scared they are that they have to go back to the situation and still go through it, and no telling how long they've been in it. So we said we were going like a while ago, huh? Last questions. Thank you guys, and thank you for your positive words. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for educating yourself. Thank you for taking the time to just accept it in your heart, even if you don't believe it. You have no idea what it does for me when I'm able to say something and I can feel better about myself for 2 seconds, even if it is for 2 seconds, because sometimes when I hang up this live, it's just only for 2 seconds, and I'm like, I don't know what possessed me to do that. Like, so honestly, thank you, because the biggest thing is nobody wants to listen because it's too close to home, or it's too scary, or it's too good to be, it's too crazy to be true, or it's too psycho, or they don't want to think about that happening to their kids. And you have no idea what it does to just be able to say, like, I miss my friends, I lived through this, and I want to help them. Even though they're gone, you can still help, and you can still help so many. So we're gonna go. Bye guys.
Bye.